let's do it then. Hello and welcome to the Jefferson My Drinks Fantasy Podcast, the pod on a mission to normalise 8-team leagues. I'm Pete McManus, and by all accounts, I am the healthy one on this podcast this week, as both Ian and H are here, but struggling a little bit. So fair play for making the effort, lads.
Yeah, we are here in mind, but not quite so much in body.
Yeah, Pete, you've got a heck of a job on your hands today.
I don't see how that's any different from any other week, so we'll just crack on and see where we go. We're gonna do. Apologies for everybody who was waiting for last week's episode to drop. So whilst people are ill now, we had a shocker of it. We all had shockers of a week last week. Work, life, everything just took over, and we ran out of time. So. Apologies for everyone who's like that left a little hole in their lives that we weren't here to fill with an hour full of fantasy football chat. But we're back and reinvigorated. Well, I'm reinvigorated. You two are just under the weather.
That week off killed us.
Yeah, we're going to. We're just running on. We're just running on adrenaline, and now it's taken off. We're going to do things slightly different. H has done some prepping, so I'm going to hand over to H shortly. Before we do, we can't move on. We cannot not talk about, just briefly, anyone who had the unfortunate experience of paying to go to that London game on Sunday. I know we've got a couple of Jets fans who listen, and I mean, that was one of the most... I was sat at home, and I had the option to turn it off. That was one of the most painful things I've ever seen in my life.
It wasn't great. I actually thought you'd gone to it, Pete. So
no,
apologies for that. Because I even texted you saying I was London.
Oh no, I went to Vikings Browns. I went to Vikings Browns a week before. Yeah. The story being, I wanted to go to Jets Broncos. Ali's obviously a Broncos fan. Got family in Denver, so I was like, that's the game I wanted to go to. But Mrs. was running the half marathon, and we had various other things on this weekend, and I've never been so glad that we couldn't make it.
I can't believe that we're all NFL caliber quarterbacks now. We have more passing yards than Justin Fields, didn't we? But we can get that kind of money.
Do you know he's the only quarterback? He's the only quarterback so far this year who hasn't thrown an interception.
Yeah, that's because he holds on to the ball too long.
I just don't trust him to throw it. It's ridiculous.
No.
But at least go down swinging.
Yeah, I was watching the game quite a bit because I do like kind of defensive battles. I find them quite interesting games to watch. I do like. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'd still like the offense to move the ball, but Pat Surtain's just different. Like there was I think Garrett Wilson did like a 10 and out, and Pat Surtain broke before Fields even considered throwing the ball, and he was there to break it up. And I mean, Fields needs to let go of the ball. He needs to anticipate his receivers a lot better. He's also like I don't think the run game helps him. Like Breece Hall doesn't look great this year. Allen looks bad, but then is it down to the fact there's nothing else?
No, it's down to the fact that they know what's coming.
And
that's the biggest issue, is that you watch them and you go, they're going to run the ball, and then they get to 3rd and long, and they're like, well, we better throw it now. I'm like, you can't play NFL football like that all the time.
Yeah,
unless you've got a really good O-line and a really good run game, and like the Lions can just enforce themselves on teams, and you can get 5 or 6 yards every rush. You can't. It's just too predictable.
Yeah, and that's just purely down to Aaron Glenn. Like, I don't know what you guys personally think of him. I think he's an idiot, but I actually don't rate him as a head coach either. I think his play calling terrible. I think he's just generally a sideline moron. They've had a fake punt and then let the clock wind down.
Oh, unbelievable! The whole is that on it? I don't know. Is that on him? Is that on the?
That is on him.
Calling the plays.
Well, no, but his job as OC, as head coach, is clock management.
Yeah.
So when they ran that fake punt, like that will have been his decision. Gone through the OCs, like, should we do it now? And he's gone, yeah. And then he's gone, yeah, just let the time expire now. Why? But he's an idiot.
I was watching Sky's coverage, and he had an interview with Neil Reynolds before it kicked off. Obviously, pre-recorded in the week, and they showed it before it kicked off. And the worrying thing that he said in it was that before we learn how to win, we need to learn how to not lose. And I could kind of see where his thought process was, but I was like, when you watch the game, it's like you're trying not to lose. You're not letting Justin Fields throw the ball. You don't trust him. It's like you're trying to get this game. You're trying to somehow win the game by accident at which they almost, or you could argue they almost did with the safety. It was like they were looking to just try and keep it low scoring as possible and hope that something happens that gets us the win and we can make a push on defense. But I was like, if you're not, and there's a few teams who've got that issue, but some quarterbacks aren't good enough. But if you're not going to trust the guy you send out there, you are never going to play good football and win enough games to be competitive.
No, yeah. But I do have the feeling that the London games are generally a disappointment.
Yeah, Vikings to be right. It was a bit up and down. It started well, dipped off in the middle, and then finished okay. But I'm hopeful for Rams Jags this weekend. But we'll see.
I think they're two very good teams, the Rams and the Jags. I think that'll be a really good game.
I bet they're both terrible in England.
Yeah, probably.
We'll see. We'll see. Right, H, I'm handing it over to you.
Right. So this is just a simple agree or disagree. Okay? Nothing more, nothing less, Ian. Don't want you gobbing on for 10 minutes.
Me?
Yeah.
Hang on, there's got to be a little bit of gobbing off. That's what we do.
Oh, go on then. Go on then. You can have a little bit of gobbing
9 minutes left in the quarter.
If the season finished today, Baker Mayfield is MVP by quite a distance.
Disagree.
Okay? Can I ask? Go on.
I'm just going to say that as it's a quarterback award, I would agree. I think this is one year where if it ended today, you could open it up to other positions, but as they generally don't, I would agree with that.
Who would you go with at this stadium?
I would go with Baker Mayfield, but the reason I
disagree just don't think it'd be that
is that I don't think it'd be by a mile. I agree that he's the current MVP, but it's not as easy as that.
I disagree.
He's the current MVP if you don't include people named Jonathan Taylor. But
just about to come on to him for my point number 2. Bijan Robinson and Jonathan Taylor this year are in a tier above all other running backs. I can maybe sneak Josh Jacobs in there.
Fantasy or NFL?
No. NFL. Go NFL. Jonathan Taylor is a freak again this year. An absolute freak. And Bijan, just every time I watch the guy, he gets better and better. And also, why the Falcons have that absolute diamond camera that picks up everything Bijan does, but nothing anyone else does, is beyond me. But that's another one. But yeah.
I would throw Gibbs in there as well.
He's not having a great year. He's not having a stellar year. Let's put it that way. I think those two are a little bit above him this year.
I'd also chuck Rico Dowdle in there.
Do you know what? Obviously, we talked a lot about Tube. Do you know how I was thinking about this morning? You know how players get injured, and usually in all sports, players get injured, and usually they get better the longer they're out injured because everyone's like, oh, well, when he comes back, we'll do this. And when he comes back, the idea of them is generally better than the actual player. I don't think anyone has had a worse 2-week stretch while out injured than Chuba Hubbard over the last 2 weeks. All this talk about, is he going to get his job back? No, He's not going to get his job back. Rico
But when the
Dowdle's
guy-
run for 400 odd yards in 2 weeks.
He's had 500 scrimmage yards in the last 2 weeks, hasn't he? Something like that. Two 250 plus scrimmage yard game. That's ridiculous.
It's a better 2 week stretch than McCaffrey ever had as a Panther.
Is that true?
Mental, that, isn't it?
Wow. Fair enough. So are you still as high on Tuber as you were
No,
4 weeks ago? No.
Going from a fantasy point of view, the problem with him now is that, so in one of our leagues, I have both of them because I picked Dowdle up to cover Tuber, and I was like, yeah, this will work quite well. Until Tuber Hubbard comes back, which I'm assuming is going to be this week, because I'm just convinced they're going to split it 50-50, and they're both going to become irrelevant, and I won't know which one to drop, and I'll just be stuck with 2 players on my roster that I can't play either of them. Poor Tuber
Ready
Hubbard.
for more?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, Hills with the next one.
With the current form and current situation, i.e. quarterback situation, Jackson Smith-Njigba is the best wide receiver in the NFL right now.
Again, are we talking fantasy or are we talking it as the best? Like,
I mean,
if you
both
start-
really. I think he's one of the top scorers for the last couple of weeks.
Fantasy wise, he is.
So we're talking fantasy because
Yeah.
you know he's not in the same tier as your Jeffersons and Chases. So we are talking.
Well, no,
That's
current
fantasy.
situation of Jamar Chase is Jackson Smith-Njigba is in way better form.
It's just
Not a
fantasy
better-
wise,
not-
yeah. So
not- no, not a better
Just
receiver.
because Jefferson isn't getting the ball and Chase aren't getting the ball, it doesn't mean
Yeah.
they're suddenly worse receivers than JSN.
yeah.
Like,
Fantasy, I
technically,
agree. I
So
agree. Let's
it
make it
has to
about.
be
If we're
fantasy.
making, if we're making it about
Fantasy
fantasy,
relevant,
I
yeah.
agree. I would have argued that Puka Nakua was up there with him, and it was
Oh, yeah.
either him or Puka. But
Yeah.
injury puts paid to Puka for a couple of weeks. Although
Yes,
Drake,
I agree. I agree.
although Drake London, I think had 100% of the wide receiver targets for the Falcons the other night. So he definitely had 100% of the
all
catches.
16 targets. It's 16. I think it was 16
Something
targets.
like that. Not what no other wide receiver caught a pass for the Falcons on Monday. Just Drake London.
Outrageous.
I needed 50 points. Going into Monday, I needed 50 points from Jaden Daniels, Drake London, and Roma Dunze. And by half time, Drake London had 27 points.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, well, I should be all right.
I did write it
It's touch
down.
and go before it started.
Yeah, he went 10 of 16 for 158 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. And most of that came in the first half.
Unreal.
He would have had another 6 if he hadn't stepped out of bounds right at the end of the first. So,
Oh yeah, on the 1 yard line, wasn't he?
yeah. But the time had expired. So,
Got one that's going to upset you now, Ian.
Oh, go on.
Patrick Mahomes seemingly back to his best. The Chiefs are the team to beat in the AFC.
Excuse me. Upset.
No,
I think
no.
you'll find there's only one team that's 5-1 in the AFC.
Right.
End of chat.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do agree, H.
No.
Patrick
I
Mahomes
disagree.
looks absolute fire at the minute. And he's
I do
QB1
agree.
in
I mean-
fantasy as well.
Can't wait till we go to Arrowhead and smash him in a month's time.
Plus,
Oh.
you know, he's going to have all his receivers back this week.
On that,
I've
would you
got-
throw Rashi Rice straight in?
Yeah.
You had him.
Yeah.
Well, you guys can discuss this later because it's part of my nightmare.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, cool.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Right, quick fire ones, this one. If the season ended today, Tyler Warren is a tight end 2 coming into Dynasty. It's a Dynasty, not redraft Dynasty.
You're dropping Bowers out of the top 2.
Ooh, as soon as you take him on, then.
McBride.
Obviously.
Okay.
As a
Kittle's a little bit old.
Pre-season.
Kittle's a little bit old, so that's
Yeah, I
why
agree.
I've gone Dynasty.
Agree.
Great. Cardinals are better off without Kyler Murray going into next year.
Agree.
Um,
In fact, I don't think he'll be there next year.
I don't think he'll
he's
be
done.
there. I have a bit of a rant about the Cardinals, but we haven't got time for it right at this moment. So I kind of agree, but I'd also like to make the point that he is not 100% of their problems. The play calling is horrendous.
I've got two very quick last ones.
Go on,
Spencer Rattler is nowhere near as bad as his record.
Agree. I like
He is
Rattler.
in a terrible team. And then finally,
his record's like 1-20, or something ridiculous. So yeah, I would argue his record's probably not. He's not that bad a QB.
And the last one, just because it's very much within the media spotlight at the minute, because of Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo, the Giants are actually worth watching now.
I agree.
Yeah.
Right, that's me, lads. See you next week. That's all my prep.
Yeah, well done, H. Off you
Perfect timing as well.
I know.
To make it all fit. Right, Q2 fantasy game day. We obviously didn't pick a captain last week, so no game to talk about. But we have got a captain, or I've got a captain for this week. Have we? Who's picking the team?
H, do you want to do it? I don't think you've done it for a bit, have you?
Yeah, I can do it.
Right, his captain is for 5,800. You can have Quinshon Judkins as captain.
Yes.
They play the Dolphins this week, and in the last game, so he had a bit of a down week last week. He only had 12 rushing attempts, which I don't understand why. But looking back, they let Gabriel, what's he called? Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, Dylan
Gabriel.
Where Gabriel came from. They let Dylan Gabriel throw the ball 52 times.
Unreal. That was a league high as well, by the way. No one else in the league this week threw 52 passing attempts.
I don't think most weeks anybody throws the ball 52 times.
No. I'd have to go back through that actually and have a check, but that might possibly be a season high across the NFL.
They're not going to do that again.
Did you see him ding one off his wide receiver's head?
No, but I've heard a lot about how he's basically throwing hospital passes as well, and he's just going to get people in trouble. So
he is and he's not. So some of them are because it's the read, but some of the drops are just atrocious. Like there was one.
But we're not talking about him, so it doesn't matter. It's Quinshon Judkins. The point is they're going to go back to giving Quinshon Judkins the ball, who in the lead up to that, the 3 games had 18, 21, 23 rushes. He's going in the right direction. I saw him live. He is their best player. Like there's no doubt about that. You don't have to watch it for 10 minutes to go. He's the danger. Give him the ball. And he's coming up against the Dolphins team who just let Kamani Vidal run for 124 yards. The week before, they let Rico Dowdle run on them for 206 yards. The week before that, they let Fields and Brees run for a combined 162 yards. And the week before that, James Cook went for 108. So you can run on the Dolphins, and Quinshon Judkins will.
Just to argue on the James Cook one, though, it was all Josh Allen. So I will run that joke. I will run that joke all season long. No, even the rushing plays, it was all Josh Allen.
Anytime James Cook does something, it was just Josh Allen.
It was all Josh Allen. So that's your quarterback. Do that as you will.
I do like that.
Good luck playing him at quarterback, H.
Not quarterback, that's your captain. Right, so we will report back on that team next week. So when Judkins goes off for 240 points overall and we don't win any money, we'll look forward to hearing how H has got it wrong. You should try Fantasy Game Day, and you should use our code which is JMDFS when you sign up, because you get a free week. Made that sound very professional.
Yeah.
Say so myself. Right, selection nightmares. Let's give Ian. Let's have yours first, as you briefly mentioned it.
Yeah, well, mine's it's a triple threat one. So I've got one of 3, and it's in it's one of our dynasty leagues. It's our Ebony Bridges dynasty league, and it's either Pittman against the Chargers, McLaurin against the Cowboys, or Rashee Rice against the Raiders.
Who was the first one? Sorry, Pittman.
Pittman against the Chargers, McLaurin, who's been missing since week 3, or Rashee Rice, who it will be his first game of the year.
Is McLaurin definitely back this week?
He's expected to train this week, and they are expecting him back. So we'll assume that he's a go.
It's a tough one. They need him because Bebo's a bit banged up as well.
I might roll the dice on Rashi. I think the way that the Chiefs operate, they may want to try and give him the ball early and quite often. So I think he may, and also the 3-4 because he didn't drive like a lunatic and nearly kill a load of people. So there's a big thing about him coming back as well. I think
we should be putting the graphics up, shouldn't we?
I would lean slightly towards Rashi Rice.
That is actually his arrest picture.
I was going to say that picture of Rashi Rice threw me a little bit. Rashi Rice is a difficult one because it would not surprise me if he got 10 receptions for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. It also wouldn't surprise me if they just went, well, things are going all right. Worthy's playing well. We've got other pieces. We'll just ease you back in because it's first game of the season. So I feel like
Worthy's only been back 2 weeks, so hasn't
he? Yeah, I would. I'm kind of with H. I think I would lean Rice.
Okay, fair enough. I thought you'd be screaming Pittman's name, if I'm honest.
Pittman's been great. The problem is we're throwing the ball around a lot into different people. We've got, and we have got, I said this at the beginning of the year, we have got options. Pittman had a couple of good weeks. Josh Downs is becoming more and more relevant every week. Tyler Warren, you've already talked about. And when we get in front, Jonathan Taylor's just going to, potential MVP, Jonathan Taylor's just going to run all over him. So.
Right, so Rashi Rice then. Cheers, boys. Thank you very much.
Do it. H.
Mine is a selection nightmare for the ages. So I want to caveat this by stating that if Marvin Harrison Jr. does not pass concussion protocol,
which he won't,
because we know that it now takes a week or two, I have to go with either Justin Fields versus the Panthers or Cam Ward versus the Patriots. And when I say I literally have no one else, bye weeks have killed me in this league.
What
so I have no one else. I think it's the Warrior
Bowl.
Yeah, the Warrior Bowl.
Right, that's Titan Premium, isn't it? Warrior Bowl, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, this. I don't know about you people. For me, this is pretty straightforward and quite easy.
Well, it depends what you're going to say. I'm leaning. I would go Fields.
Yeah, absolutely. He's played 5 games, had 3 29+ scores. He has had 2 scores under 5 points, but remember, one of those was against the Bills where he went off injured with a concussion. So if we say he's only had 1 bad week, and that was last week where he got 3 point.
I mean, he didn't go off injured until the 4th quarter, but
I know, yeah, he'd played 62% of the snaps when he went off. So, but he was still 38% of the game left for him to get some points. And I get he's a bit of a fantasy darling because of his rushing ability, and he has got 3 rushing TDs already this year. But like you say, he's not recorded a single interception, but he has thrown for 4 touchdowns. So he's doing a bit more than just running it in. Cam Ward, on the other side, he's got 0 rushing touchdowns. He's thrown 3 TDs and 4 picks in 5 games. They've just sacked Brian Callahan. So they've got Mike McCoy in as an interim head coach. How much change is he going to implement within a week? I don't know. He is a former quarterback's coach and a former quarterback himself. So he might help Cam Ward out in the long term. I don't think those changes are going to happen immediately. But then looking at the matchups, like the Patriots are giving up an average of 19.5 points to QBs compared to the Panthers giving up 18.8. So that does give the edge to Cam Ward. But I can't trust him. I don't think he's scored over 12 points at all this season. So there's no way I'm trusting him. And I'm going to go with Fields, who has got 3 huge games. He's got a 29, a 29, and a 31. You've got to play Fields.
Yeah, I think the important thing on Fields is when he doesn't have you just don't think he can play against good teams. So obviously he came up against a good Broncos defense. He came up against a good Bills defense. All right, week 1 he played the Steelers, but I think for the first few weeks of the season we didn't think the Steelers were that good either, and their defense was struggling. So it depends on how highly you rate. Who are the Jets playing again?
Panthers.
Carolina. Panthers.
Yeah.
I thought it was the Panthers. I've just got the Titans in my head because I'm looking at Cam Ward. Yeah, it depends on how highly you rate the Panthers defense, and I don't rate them that high at all. So in that case, I think I'd go with Justin Fields. It would worry me that Garrett Wilson's out. He's got no one to throw the ball to, but I think he'll make up for that on the ground. I think Breece Hall's going to get Breece Hall's going to get 10 targets this week.
Yeah, well, Cam Ward has also got Calvin Ridley out.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, he's been using Elik Ayamana a lot.
Yeah, I think he had a week with Calvin Ridley where Calvin Ridley got about 12 targets or something like that and still did nothing with it. But yeah, Ayamana's becoming wide receiver 1.
I would go Fields.
Cool. Thanks.
The floor, I know he's had a couple of bad weeks, but the floor against a dodgy team, the floor's a bit low. The floor's a bit higher, I think. Whereas Cam Ward could go. Let's go out and throw the ball and get picked off left, right, and centre. Right, mine's in the JMD dynasty.
Okay.
I have a distinct lack of wide receivers in the JMD dynasty, so I haven't had any selection nightmare issues. But now with Rashee Rice back, I do have a bit of an issue.
Ian, what is this crap?
That's a great picture. Again, if you're listening, check us out on YouTube. I am going with Rashee Rice. I'm going with Jalen Waddle, obviously, which gives me a choice between the other two, who both have had high points this year, but are both coming off low weeks in
terrible
week 6. Courtland Sutton went caught 1 of 3 targets for 17 yards at the weekend, and Stephon Diggs, after his big week the week before, only managed 3 receptions for 28 yards. So I have got either Sutton against the Giants or Diggs at the Titans.
Go on, H.
I said Courtland Sutton was going to be a top 15 wide receiver this year. He's currently 13. I know he had a bad week this week, and I was disappointed because I played him in a few leagues because I was missing Nico Collins. So I thought, easy, Sutton in, bang, and he was terrible. So I think he'll have a bounce back. I think it'll be. Yeah, I think he'll have a bounce back, and I'll lean towards Sutton, even though the Patriots are going up against the Titans, who don't look great.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
do agree. I'm going to go with Sutton, and so I'll look at this for you. And he had 3 decent weeks, about back to back, 23, 19, 17 points. 2 points last week, as you just mentioned. Favourable matchup against the Giants, who are the 7th worst in the league for passing yards allowed, with an average of 242 yards. Whereas you look at Diggs, wildly unreliable. We had the revenge game against the Bills, where we smashed out 24 points. Titans, as H just mentioned, haven't really been doing anything. Titans are the 12th best passing defense, allowing 209 yards. Which is only really a difference of 31 yards compared to the Giants. But the Titans have scored 12, 19, 20, and 10, and a big fat 0 against H's Texans. So the Patriots might not actually have to do that much to win the game against the Titans, which means Vrabel might become even more run heavy than he normally is. So I think the matchup's going to be a big part for this, because with the Broncos playing against the Giants, and you got the creatine kids of Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterby. They got 34 points last week against the current Super Bowl champions. So I reckon the Broncos could be in for a bit of a match.
Right. I've put it in. Sutton starting. I am 3-3 in that JMD dynasty, which is okay. That's a solid start. But when I think back to the trades I've done and the fact that 3 months ago I had Bijan and Jonathan Taylor, and now I don't have either of them, makes me think that maybe I might not have given myself the best chance of winning this year.
Is there anyone 6-0 in that dynasty?
Are you 6-0? And
I am 6-0.
Yeah, oh yeah, right, yeah. I think you were the only one who was at 5-0, weren't you?
Oh, was I?
I think you were the only one to get to 5-0 across all 5 divisions. Right. Yeah. So I've not done the update yet. That'll be going out.
I think we've got.
I'll still lose first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I've got. I'm top of ours with Wild Guns at 4-2. I think, if I remember right.
I don't know if it was yours or one of those divisions I went through last week. Had everybody was either 3-2 or 2-3, and I was like, "What? This is what fantasy football's all about."
Yeah, I think you said that was the Brady division, wasn't it?
Split everybody by one win across the 5 weeks. Right. Who are we looking for this week? Wants to watch. Who wants to kick off?
I've got 2. But Ian, do you want to go first?
No, that's not how it works. So if you've got 2, why don't you let me and Pete go first? And if there's a decent chance we'll say one of your 2, isn't there, then? Yeah, go on, I'll go first because I'm going to pick a homer and I'm going to say Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco, do you know what? I'm dying to ask you. I was going to leave it till the end. I was dying. We didn't talk about it last week. I'm now a game in. I'm dying to know what you think about Joe Flacco.
He really, really impressed me, to be fair. It gave me some hope. And, he'd only had a short week. He'd had like 3 days to learn the playbook. Zach Taylor had already decided our first and second down script. So Joe Flacco only had to learn the third and fourth down scripts. He was playing with a wristband because he didn't know all the plays. But what was really impressive about Joe Flacco on Sunday was it Sunday or Monday? I can't remember now. Sunday. Was how quickly he identified a play breaking down and just getting rid of the ball and avoiding a sack. He didn't get sacked until the very end of the game when the game was done anyway. But what really impressed me was the fact that he wasn't just standing in the pocket like Jake Browning was and losing 6, 7, 8, 9 yards by not getting rid of the ball and backing us up. And he just kept us in the game all the way because of those decisions that he made.
That's just a savvy vet, though, isn't it?
That's what we need. Like he was so quick at seeing a play break down, and he'd just ground it. He'd just throw it at the feet of the nearest receiver. Play was dead, 0 yards lost. And, it doesn't look great from an offensive and moving the chains kind of thing. But if you think about if you're losing 7 yards, 8 yards, 9 yards per sack and getting backed up, and now you're on a 3rd and 15 and a 3rd and 16, you got no chance in the game. And just those little things that he did kept us in it all the way through.
Yeah.
So with the extra week, granted we are on a short week again this week, so we're playing Thursday night. So he's still not got a full week to get up to speed. I'm hoping that we can do a bit better this week against the Steelers.
Okay.
Can I just quickly ask, whilst we're on the Bengals, how did you find the Josh Jacobs touchdown?
I loved it.
That was some of the worst defending I've ever seen.
Yeah, but I've got Josh Jacobs in so many leagues. I love Josh Jacobs, mate.
That is true.
I love Josh Jacobs. I think he's, apart from Jordan Love, he's the only part of his offense that I've got. So
was the Josh Jacobs touchdown for you a little bit like the Trey McBride one against the Colts for me, where I was like, well, that's annoying, but a good annoying.
Yes. Yeah. No, it was. He was soft. The gap right down the middle. It was good blocking by their O-line, if I'm honest. But yeah, our defense is really concerning.
Have you got a quarterback at H?
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, that's the same as mine.
Oh, is it?
See, that's why Pete should have gone first.
Yeah, go on, Pete. You go first. No, I've only got one quarterback.
Right. No, I was. Mine is complete.
I've got one quarterback. I've got 2 players, 1 quarterback.
Right. Okay, all right, I'm with you now.
Apologies. Pick a running back and a wide receiver. He was just like, nah, just going to go with one. Mine is Trevor. I'm going to the game on Sunday. So mine is specifically is just biased in that I really want to see him live and see what he can do. I saw him last year, I think, or the year before. But considering he played so well against the Chiefs and then seemed to come regress backwards this week. I was like, I would quite like to see how he does on Sunday. That's literally just it. I think he's one to watch because I think by the end of the year we're going to have a bit of an idea who Trevor Lawrence is, and I don't know what that idea is going to be at this point.
I think he's playing really well at the minute, though. I know he had what we're classing as a down week this week, but Seattle's defense is, I think, top 5 in the NFL right now. I think he was under pressure on something ridiculous like 50% of dropbacks, which no quarterback can take. So as I guess as bad as he was in that game, if you put it into context, he's probably had one of his toughest defensive games. And I just think he's playing some really good football this year. I think it's helped that Etienne's back. I think he's got weapons that he can rely on. I know Brian Thomas has dropped a few, but he's also got Hunter. Say again.
He's bottled a few.
He has.
And it's not just drops. There was one on Sunday that he got halfway through that route and then no, I'm not running that direction, and just completely bottled it.
Yeah.
Then what's the other lad?
Says me, who could never play NFL football.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I just want to be clear. I would not say that to his face, or even on a call with him. And I really don't want this to get back to him. But so if you're listening, Brian, I apologise already. You don't even have to hit me up about it.
Just at him on Twitter, mate. It's fine.
No, I'm not looking for a fight. I'm just saying you bottled that a little bit.
Mark Washington, that's the other one, isn't it? He's playing well. But yeah, he's got reliable targets this year, or more reliable than last year. He seems to be healthy as well, which is really benefiting him. The run game's helping him. He looks a good quarterback this year. Not elite, not whatever he was made out to be outside of college, but he looks a good quarterback.
Yeah, sleeper update. Josh Downs' status has changed from healthy to questionable. Get Pittman in, Ian. Josh Downs is out. And take back every bit I said about Rashee Rice. Get Pittman back in. I'm going to go first at running back because I've picked your Woody Marks, who I spent way too much on, apparently. Way too much fab on. And I want to see coming out of the bye if they're actually going to go back to him or whether they are just going to stick with Nick Chubb. Because I was like, I don't understand what that 1 week was all about. Why have they gone, let's give him the ball for 1 week? And then he did really well and then gone away from him. I just don't want to give up on him. All this fab I've spent on him in various leagues, but I'm hoping for more.
I don't think he's. I think he's going to be a valuable asset. It's just the Chubb appears to be the first, second down back, which is a little bit annoying.
Chubb was done last year. I don't understand why is everyone obsessed with keeping Nick Chubb's career going.
Chubb had a good game.
Nice guy. Don't care.
Chubb had a good game before our bye. I think he was like 70 yards and a touchdown. He had a good game. He was moving the ball, and I think he was going for 5 yards a carry, whereas Woody Marks was going for 3. So I think they played the hot hand a little bit.
There's no
and that's great for fantasy teams, isn't it?
Yeah.
The frustrating thing with having him on your roster now is I can guarantee you he will be your running back by like week 13, 14. Because Nick Chubb will be tired and old and probably injured by that point. So it's like, have I got the ability to hold on to Woody Marks through all of these bye weeks and not play him? Or am I going to give him up having spent loads of fab on him to then have to buy him back when it all comes back in a few weeks' time?
I've got more fab than you now, mate. I'm just going one more fab than you.
You wait for that one good game and trade into H.
Yeah.
Ian?
My running back is also someone to watch from a volume perspective, and someone we talked about before. It's Rico Dowdle, and how much the return of Chuba will impact Rico Dowdle as well. Because we've got to remember, Chuba got paid this year.
Yeah.
So the Panthers will be keen to keep Chuba involved.
As someone who likes Chuba, as discussed earlier, hopefully he has a recurrence of whatever injuries keeping him out this week, and we can stick with Dowdle for a couple more weeks.
Yeah, I think, and with the Panthers struggling so far this year, I think Canales, they've been mental to go straight back to Chuba when it's been working so well with Rico Dowdle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been picking up big results as well, haven't they? I think oh no, they haven't. They've been Panthers, haven't they? Never mind. Ignore that.
Yeah, but if you've got a player that's getting you over 400 yards in 2 games, you've got to use him.
Got to stick with him.
You can't just go. Oh well, we're paying this guy loads, so we got to play him.
Who's your second player, H?
Tez Johnson, who's the wide receiver for the Bucks. This one's a bit of a wild one, but I said at the start of the season when I was doing this that he has a really good story coming about his background and everything like that. And I was kind of rooting for him, and he's now going to get a chance for the Bucks. Looks like it's going to be Sterling Shepard's going to be wide receiver 1. He could easily be wide receiver 2, playing out the slot. I hope he gets like kind of a role, kind of like what Tank Dell had, an undersized receiver, but utilised in ways where he can really affect games. So it's more that I'm rooting for him because I love a sob story.
Was he the one that caught the touchdown and then they were shouting MVP and he thought it was about him?
Yeah. It's like, I didn't even do anything.
Yeah, he's like, I've got a lot of time for that.
Yeah.
So that was a good story. Yeah, fair play to him.
So hopefully he kicks on.
We've already talked about mine, so I'd put Chiefs receivers, so I've got Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, just to see what the split's like and see how that goes this week. I think he's going to go one way or the other. I think it'll be a lot of Rice or not a lot of Rice. So I don't think there'll be any middle ground.
It's just going to be all Kelsey from now on. Now that we're talking about the receivers, it's all Kelsey again.
Yeah.
If
Kelsey can remember how to catch it without using the floor, yeah.
Go on, right. Wrap us up with wide receivers before you get.
Yeah, my receiver is unbelievably Jerry Jeudy.
Okay.
And this is mainly down to, like we mentioned, Dylan Gabriel aired it out 52 times in one game. 13 of those went to Judy's way. He only caught 5 of them, but the volume is a good indicator that Gabriel's going to try and get it his way as often as possible going forward. And they're playing the Dolphins. Both teams 1-5. The Browns will see this as a must-win game.
It's 13 a lot if your quarterback throws it around 52 times. And 30 targets is a lot usually. I'm not sure it takes a little bit of the edge off it if he's throwing it to 4 different people 13 times. Quick maths for you though. Right, who's your tight end?
My tight end this week. Let me just get the graphic up. Okay, I've seen loads of people pick him up on waiver wires this week. It's already covered. Sterling Shepard's looking at wide receiver 1, Tez Johnson wide receiver 2. But in actual fact, Baker Mayfield's top receiver against the Lions this weekend is going to be Cade Otton. We got Mike Evans may return to practice. Godwin fibular injury, Ibuka hamstring injury. We can all remember how good Cade Otton was in a 3-game stretch last year. With 18, 19, and 21 points. And the game against the Lions has the highest over-unders of the week at 52.5 points. So it is expected to be the highest scoring game in the NFL this week.
I like it. I like it a lot. And also, while we're on the picture, those jerseys have grown on me.
I
think they're really good.
Yeah, I hated them at first. Really did hate them. I
couldn't see what all the fuss was about.
Them.
But it was when they were actually using them against the Seahawks the other week. It was like, yeah, I actually quite like them. So.
Yeah, the creamsicle jersey. Yeah, they have grown on me as well. Pete, do you want to go next, seeing as H is dying?
Yeah, can do.
Cheers, boys.
For the second time this season, I'm picking on the Raiders. I think the defense is. I think whilst the Chiefs are back. Are they back offensively? They're on their way back offensively. I think the defense is going to come up and have its biggest game of the year. It's time for them to step up. They held the Lions to under 300 total yards in week 6, and now they're coming up against Geno Smith and the Raiders. And Geno Smith has not looked good at any point this year, from 10 interceptions in 6 games, and just looks like he's an accident waiting to happen. I think the Chiefs will be all over them. 3-3. I've heard a couple of Chiefs beat reporters sort of saying this is where the Chiefs felt like they needed to get to. It's like get through these first 6 games. They played some tough teams along the way, get to 3-3, and then push on from here. And this starts with the Raiders, and I think they'll be all out on Sunday to absolutely destroy the Raiders on both sides of the ball.
Like it. Is Gino technically is he the worst QB in the league now, Gino? Now we're not playing Browning.
Depends
on
what
I want having a laugh then. Like
it depends on what metric you hold it by.
Yeah.
But probably, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. H.
My kicker is going to be Matt Gay, who I think he's going to be in a shootout game with the Cowboys.
You like a shootout, don't you?
I always pick my kickers on games where I think there's going to be a lot, or it's going to be high scoring, because even if it's not field goals, it's extra points. So, yeah, Commanders having, yeah, exactly. He's number 8 kicker on the year, which is a consistent kicker. If he's available, go pick him up. The Commanders have Jaden Daniels back, so they get into better scoring positions than they did with Marcus Mariota. Granted, there's probably more likely touchdowns, but again, it's an extra point. It's still a point compared to other kickers that won't get you that. So, yeah, Matt Gay.
Jaden Daniel, do you know what? I was watching that game on Monday, and he's just really calm, isn't he? Those quarterbacks, it just looks like he's just playing a game with his mates down the park. It's just everything he does is really calm. That's like his number one trait from when you watch him. It's really impressive to watch him play. Right, there is an awful lot of primetime games to get through this week. We've got Thursday night. We've already talked about Thursday night. But we didn't talk about how you think the game's going to go, Ian.
It's going to be a Steelers win. Come on, Pete. It's that one, mate.
I was waiting for you to do it, and you didn't do it. So I was like, right, I need to fix this. Do you not think? I think you've got a chance this week, and I think you need this one.
I think we've got a chance.
Is it your place, right?
It's ours, yeah.
I think you need this one to keep the division alive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We absolutely need to win this to keep the division alive. If we lose this, it's pretty much wrapped up, done and dusted. Steelers in the playoffs to go and get beat. But I can't. As positive as I am, I just don't see us winning it. I think it's the Steelers.
I would have liked Joe Flacco to have a little bit more time to prep, but I'm taking the Bengals to keep the AFC North alive. AFC North divisional games are even more odd than any other division, I think. Thursday night, bit of hope back in that building. I think you do it and you keep it all. And yeah, I think you're going to do it.
That would be amazing.
5.5 point favourite, the Steelers.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't have the level of confidence that you do, Pete. I think the Steelers are playing quite good football. I know they're boring. I know they're not entertaining, but they're playing good football. Like, in all 3 phases.
Granted, so. I didn't watch the whole game. I was just watching it on Red Zone. But the bits I saw of Steelers-Browns for the first half, at least, and I'm thinking back to that game that they played, was it last year or the year before, that was like 3-3?
Yeah.
I was like, the Steelers and Browns should be banned from letting people watch them. They should have to play it behind closed doors and then just let us know what the score was. Like, we shouldn't have, nobody should be put through that. Even if you're a Steelers or a Browns fan, certain teams should just go away. Like, there's going to be games that the Jets play later in the year that they should just go away behind closed doors, get the game done, tell us what the result was afterwards, and we'll all move on with our lives.
Yeah, they have to show it on like UK Gold at 12 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon, in between Trisha and Jeremy Kyle or something like that.
Yeah, do you know when we remember during COVID they started moving games all over the place because they had to people had to clear COVID protocols and all that, and then we ended up playing games on like a Wednesday afternoon. It should be that. Like you just
should be that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, put it on a Wednesday on some channel that no one's ever heard of in America. Right, that's Steelers Bengals, and then the UK Rams at Jags. Rams are a 3-point favourite. Not really at Jags because it's at Wembley. You think Trevor Lawrence is playing well, well enough to beat a Puka Nacua-less Rams team?
Are the Puka Nacua-less, though? The rumours are I saw something today that he may basically grind it out until the bye.
I don't think he plays.
He came back on, didn't he? He came back on the field last week.
Yeah, he did, but then they said he's hurt.
He's out.
It's like they're on a bye the week after this. It feels a bit daft to. I mean, I wouldn't even fly. I would have even flown him over it. Like, why?
Yeah.
Just leave him in LA for 2 weeks to get over it. He's your best player. So
yeah,
but I'm not sure.
I still think the Rams are an incredible football team. I've said it all year. The defensive front is outstanding. I think the quarterback is the most underrated quarterback in the NFL, and I know he's rated fairly highly, but I still think he is massively underrated. And Davante Adams is playing good football as well, even with Nacua out. Our boy Karen is doing well as well. So I do think the Jags are playing some really, really good football, but I think this is a game that I don't see them winning. Do you
not think Karen's been a bit disappointing recently, Pete?
Why? When did he become our boy, Karen?
Our boy.
He's stealing him from me, bro.
Do you not think he's had a couple of bad weeks?
Hey, he's our boy because he's our boy from the pod. Shout out Karen Williams.
Why would I think he's been disappointing?
That's interesting fantasy. Do you not think he's not delivering? Okay.
No, he's always he delivers now every week.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But he doesn't.
ever since he dropped him.
Yeah.
Did you see that catch down the sideline on Sunday?
Yeah.
What a player. I'm going to end up buying a Karen Williams jersey this weekend. I can see it. I can already see it now.
It has to say Karen on the back, though.
Get it changed.
Go on.
Get it changed. I do fancy the Rams in this. The only thing that concerns me is the extra distance they've got to travel is a long way, and the fact that the Jags come over here every year, they seem to play well when they get here, which I think is going to be it's going to give the Rams a game, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the Rams. You say it's a longer distance. It depends which way round they go, doesn't it? Because if they both go the other way, then it's closer for the Rams.
If they both go the long way round,
if they both go via Australia, then Rams have got the edge. So we don't know which way they're traveling.
No, I think we do, but what a story that'd be. The Jags took a day and a half to get here because they went the other way. We've had some comments on this pod before, but that's right up there.
The Rams are going by Australia because it's quicker for them.
The only one of our teams that's not in prime time this week is the 5-1 current number 1 seed Indianapolis Colts at the LA Chargers, which is just after 9 o'clock kickoff on Sunday, which is joyous because it gives me time to find a bar and get some chicken wings and get settled before that starts. And it'll be more featured on Red Zone. I think this should be a really good game. I'm not particularly confident, but I think we'll give them a very, very good game, and it could go either way.
Yeah, I think you'll do it. I'm giving you the edge on this one.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm happy
I hope you're right.
Well, yeah. What are you saying?
It's weird because if you offered me this at the start of the year, I wouldn't even hesitate with it. But I kind of am a little bit now.
If you'd asked me about this at the start of the year, we all know why I said the Colts were going to do. and this wasn't the one game that they were going to win. So
I tell you what, if we win this weekend, there's problems for the rest of the AFC, because after that we've got Titans at home the week after, which they might as well just give us, and then we go to the Steelers, might as well give us that one too, and then we're off to Germany, so we will head to Germany at 8-1, which if we win this weekend, so to play the Falcons, which should be a tough game because they're playing really well.
Yeah, the Falcons are doing well.
Gutted, I'm not going to that. Right, Sunday Night Football. Running out of time here. Sunday Night Football. Falcons at 49ers. Favored by 2.
Yeah. Who's the favourites by 2?
It's 49ers, which
Yeah,
I assume this is a coin toss, but they're at home, so we'll give them a 2-point advantage.
Yeah, because I've got the Falcons for this.
The Falcons are a difficult team to predict at the moment.
Telling me I told you they were going to win the division. Look how foolish I look.
They beat the Vikings and then got absolutely destroyed by the Panthers and just didn't turn up. So I'm a bit worried that post the Bills game,
the Bills.
Yeah, that they're just not going to turn up again. But
well, I think they turned up.
I would lean the Falcons way as well.
They turned up for the big games, and the 49ers is a big game.
I think the 49ers are running out of luck a little bit, and injuries are starting to crop up as well. So I think I'm with you here. I think yeah.
Fred Warner being out's massive as well.
Yeah. Bosa and Warner out. That's a big loss to your defense today.
Especially when you're running the ball with Bijan Robinson.
But they've got Collins in the middle of that D line at the minute, who's taking some names.
We've got another doubleheader on Monday night. There's definitely more doubleheaders on Monday night this year than there's ever been before. It feels like it's
not
4 weeks. I don't know. I quite like having a couple of games to watch at once, but maybe just not what feels like every week. I'm assuming this is going to stop at some point and we're just going to go back to one game. But I think it's better when the games aren't as good, but Bucks at Lions should be an absolute gem of a game to watch. So I would quite have liked that to have sat on its own. I don't want to have to watch the Texans at the same time. But let's talk about Bucks at Lions first. Lions are you've already talked about it being the highest scoring of the week according to the bookies. Lions are a 4.5-point favourite. I think the Bucks have been great, and Mayfield might be the MVP through 6 weeks, but I still fancy the Lions in their own building.
I agree. If the Bucks had Mike Evans, Ibuka, Godwin available, then I'd be taking the Bucks all day over the Lions for this one. But just the fact that they're relying on Sterling Shepard as wide receiver 1 and a rookie Tez Johnson as wide receiver 2, it's just, as much as I would like the Bucks to win because I do really like them and the way they run their offense, and I do like Baker, I just think the Lions have got too much.
Yeah.
I have to agree.
I think they'll cover the 4.5 points pretty easily, to be fair.
The thing is, though, it's mad this week. I just can't write Baker off at the minute. Like the game when Ibuka went down on Sunday, I was like, oh well, that's the Bucks done, and he still found a way to win. So yeah, I think it'll be close. I'm not like you, Pete, ready to write off the 4.5, but I do think the Lions will just edge it.
I'm sure they're not going to do this, but I really hope the Bucks are playing in those creamsicle jerseys and the Lions are playing in those black and blue jerseys.
Ooh.
That would be one of the greatest matchups that the NFL has ever seen. Proper contrasting colours, but both beautiful in their own way.
Well, if contrast is your thing, the Bengals are playing in our whiteout kits on Thursday against the contrast of Steelers black.
Okay.
So if contrast is your thing,
I like your whites too.
Yeah.
Whites.
Oh,
bye, H.
Just as we're going to talk about the Texans as well. So Texans at Seahawks. I assume you're with me, Ian. Seahawks wins this easily.
Yeah, all day. Yeah, easy.
I'm sure H would have agreed.
By about 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, at least, and a field goal. All right, I'm going 34-10.
Yeah, H has just texted me. Actually, he agrees. He's gone 41-9 to the Seahawks.
41-9. Scorigami. Probably. Who knows? Who knows? And quite frankly, who cares? Right. The Hawks are 3.5-point favorite. I think they cover that.
I think they cover it. Yeah.
It won't be. I don't think it'll be a particularly exciting game because the Texans defense will keep them in it. But I think the offense that we saw finally putting stuff together was against poor teams, and the Seahawks in Seattle are not a poor team. So
no, they're not.
I think they'll hold CJ Stroud down. Touchdown treble. We've not had a lot of luck. I've been pretty good at this. You two haven't. So I have to go back and check it. But I think I've got more wins than losses. Who are you going for this week?
Well, I think I'm more concerned about trying to find an outsider to get the odds up. If I'm honest,
I'm more concerned about getting one right at some
point.
So.
Yeah. So I've gone with Davante Adams against the Jags.
Oh, I like that.
Especially with Puka being banged up, and Davante Adams being a massive red zone threat. And I think Davante Adams, he's underperformed or underwhelmed so far. I think now's the time where he can step up. Puka's banged up, and he can take and shoulder some additional responsibility, and the team can lean on him this week.
He's done all right touchdown wise. He's just he's not been getting the massive numbers that Puka's been getting. So maybe
Puka gets absolutely spammed with targets, which it's fine. It's to be expected. And they got Davante Adams in the team for the red zone threat, and it's working for them. But I think he'll also get the volume this week as well.
I think they'll need to score. Kyron's probably going to get 2, but Davante Adams can have the other one. So we're all good. I'm sticking with my fantasy game day captain and going Quinshon Judkins.
We're doubling down.
He will get in. That's not a long shot. I would imagine he's probably one of the favourites, if not probably second favourite to Achane in that game. So that's not going to add massives to the odds, but it will hopefully help us get over the line for once.
That's fair. But H's selection will probably boost our odds.
It will indeed. Do you want to present it for him as he's
because H has gone with Baker Mayfield running one in against the Lions, which will probably take us up to about 20-1.
Yeah, I'm assuming will be. He looks around, can only see people he doesn't really recognise because his receivers are all out. Cade Otton's on the sideline having a rest from the 30-yarder he's just caught, and then he runs it in. I can see it now.
Yeah.
Right. So that's we'll work out the odds on that. Stick it on social. Check out our socials as always at JMD Pod. And thanks for listening. Apologies again that we missed last week, but we will be here every week for the rest of the season and beyond.